Hello everyone, Link here, back with a new video. This will be the Starladder Budapest Major Pickems, Stage 1. It's been quite a long time since I've recorded a video, especially when I just realized that I had a couple of videos that I thought I uploaded that I didn't. They were actually the sticker openings for the last two majors. I was going to upload the Austin one right before this video when I realized I didn't upload it, but then I realized I didn't even upload the Shanghai one. So I'm planning on uploading both those shortly after this video. And I also realized that I've kind of been, not only have I been having a lot of stuff IRL, I mean, I had a tongue sore the other day that I had to wait to even to heal before I could even record this video. But more importantly, I realized that I had all of my YouTube videos, including all my recording tests, all together. So I haven't, I've been making these a lot more difficult on myself. So I apologize. I'm going to try to get better at recording. And now that I can sort things better, I should be able to. I was going to wait a little bit longer to do this video because a lot of these teams I haven't really seen the results of, and to be honest, in terms of Counter-Strike, I haven't been following the scene too much since the last major. I followed the few major tournaments after the major. I forget what they were called, but the two or three S tier tournaments after the last major. I watched most of those tournaments, but since then, basically for the last 2 or 3 months, I haven't been watching CS2 as much. So I'm not an expert by any means, so don't take this too seriously, but these are the pick'ems that I'm going to be going with. And I've looked at a lot of potential matchups, I've looked at the roster changes, and I feel pretty good about my pick'ems, even though I will say this first stage is crazy. Like, sometimes you'll have a bunch of teams that could go 0-3, or maybe 4 or 5 teams that could go 0-3, but usually you'll have a couple of teams that are obvious for 3-0s, or at least obvious to qualify. I gotta be honest, there's a lot of teams that could go 3-0, a lot of teams that could 0-3, and a lot of teams that could randomly qualify. This stage is all over the place. So to start off with, I'm going to start off with the 0-3s. I actually am going to start off with the team that I straight up, a couple hours ago, looked up how to pronounce their names because I didn't even know they existed until, I saw them here. And that's Red Candidates. Whether it's Red Cans, Red Candidates, I don't care. I'm probably just going to call them Red Canids or Red Cans. They're apparently, I assumed they were a North American team, but they're actually a South American team. In fact, there was one kind of strong South American player they had. I think it was Drop. I might be wrong on that, but they're pretty minor. They're kind of they're similar to Fluxo in a way, in that they have one big player. In the case of Fluxo, they have Art, but I think they might have Decency as well in Fluxo, if I'm not mistaken. So Fluxo is just a better team than these guys are, and if you're going to put Fluxo 0-3, you also have to put these guys 0-3. I will say, part of me is tempted to put Fluxo 0-3, because a lot of people do have this philosophy over the last few majors where you don't put the Asian teams, specifically the Chinese teams, going 0-3 because they can usually catch people off guard with a strange build. So Lin Vision, the Huns, and Rare Atom, don't put them 0-3. I'm most definitely not putting Lin Vision 0-3 or even Rare Atom. For me, it's between 4 teams. And you could throw in 5, I think. For me, it's between the Huns, Fluxo, M80, and maybe, just maybe, Energy. For me personally, I don't want to put Fluxo. I'm going to go with the Huns, but I also am tempted to go M80, because honestly, that roster's all over the place. I don't see them qualifying. I don't see them having any solid results. I've done a lot of simulations, and I see a lot of simulations of which both the Huns and M80 end up going 0-3. Fluxo is much more likely to get a random win. NRG, they're gonna likely go 0-2, but not only could they get a round 1 win, if I remember the matchups correctly, which is also something that bugs me. I think it was Copenhagen, they had the matchups here for round 1 before the tournament even started, but now they don't do that anymore. You have to look it up online, which bugs me a little bit. In fact, let me grab my phone real quick. Thought I memorized all of the matchups, but apparently not. I mean, not all of them, but most of the ones that mattered at least. NRG, I want to say they were going up against Imperial or something. They were going up against another team that was similar to them. While that's getting up, though, yes, Energy is going up against NIP, which is another team I'm going to talk about quite a bit in a moment. But let's first talk about that's going to be my 0-3s, the Huns and Red Cans. I'm going to say Red Cans just because it's short. But I'm tempted to put M80. I'm either going to go with this or this. So when you watch the major, note that this is what I'm putting. But I'm very, very tempted to go M80. Like, I really do think they could go 3-0. Or 0-3. Now, with the 3 zeros, I think there's a lot of teams you could put here. Specifically, I think there's 4 teams that are likely to go to 3-0. Legacy, FaZe, Bait, and Gamer Legion. And I could even see, like, Fnatic going through. Because a lot of teams, particularly Fnatic and Ninjas of Pajamas, have had a lot of good roster changes. Fnatic has Crims, BlameF, and then they picked up 3 guys from Passion UA who nearly managed to move on if they managed to beat Wildcard a couple majors ago. So that was very impressive by Passion. They were a team that caught a lot of people off guard. So when you combine Crims, BlameF with those 3 guys, I think it was Jambo, Fear, and one other guy, I forget, they were really good. Like, that's a really nice roster. I do think that there's a chance they might lose 2-3, but I think they're pretty solid. When it comes down to 3-0, I'm going to definitely put Legacy. Ever since the last major, they were one of, if not the biggest surprise we've ever seen in a major, to be honest. Like, they were this close to beating Mouse to make it into the playoffs. I mean, I still can't even believe I'm saying that out loud. Now, to be fair, Mouse nearly went 0-2 if Ultimate didn't have to carry so hard with Liquid, but still. And most people on paper might just immediately put FaZe Clan. I gotta be honest, FaZe Clan, they have never gone 3-0. I genuinely don't think they've ever gone 3-0 at a major that I know of. Like, it's certainly not in the last, like, couple of years. And the other factor is that if you put FaZe qualifying normally, they're pretty much, as long as they don't go 3-0, you're pretty much guaranteed to get that pick 'em correct. So I'm going to pick a team to go 3-0 that I think has a strong chance to go 3-0, but also is a team that if they lose round 1, I think there's a chance they might not qualify at all, which is what you want to see when your 3-0 loses. And that's Bait. Bait is one of those teams that I think is going to do that can do really well, but I also think they can do really badly. So I think you can make the argument for FaZe Clan. I think you can make the argument for Gamer Legion, even Fnatic. The rest of these teams, not as much. Now, when it comes down to the 3-1s and 3-2s, you gotta put FaZe Clan. You gotta put Gamer Legion. This is a team I'm surprised a lot of people have not been putting, which is Lin Vision. Lin Vision and Taiwu, ever since last major, not only did they perform well at last major, they've been doing so good since. Now, yes, they might be playing mostly in Asia, but Lin Vision, I've seen a lot of people put teams like, Imperial going through over Lin Vision. I've seen people put FlyQuest and NIP going through over Lin Vision. I've even seen some people put M80 and maybe even NRG going through over Lin Vision. Now, to be fair, Flom put NRG through purely, for North American hype. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm tempted to do that myself. But M80, like, dude, NRG is better than M80 in my opinion. Like, M80 is all over the place. Now, to be fair, NRG is all over the place too, but I don't think NRG is necessarily going to go 0-3, where I could see M80 going 0-3. So, Lin Vision, like, not only do the Asian teams, like, never go 0-3, but also Lin Vision, they've always dominated. Or maybe not since, like, the Furia choke, but recently they've been doing really well in early group stages. So in stage 1, I think Lin Vision is a pretty good bet here to go through. And as I've already talked about earlier, we have Fnatic, you've got Crims, you got BlameF, you got the Passion Boys. There's a lot of skill on that roster. The question is, can that roster work together? Then, for my 5th pick, we're going to go Perivision. You got Jame, you got... Perivision is kind of like the budget Virtus Pro. Like, the Virtus Pro, like... So we had the Outsiders, which won the major, then they swapped to Virtus Pro, and they nearly won, or they nearly got to the playoffs in the next major. They've kind of been slowly degrading, and now Perivision is kind of like... You know how you have, like, Spirit Junior, for example? That's basically what Perivision is. It's like the Virtus Pro below Virtus Pro. And with Jame, with the rest of the guys, I think Hubert's still there. It's a team that's still got enough talent that in this level of stage with the rest of these teams, I think they're pretty solid to make it through. Now, This last pick, I forget exactly who's on this team that they got. I think they got Shuhei. It's either Shush or Shuhei. I think it's Shuhei. Then there was another guy that was very strong, and then they had Wrinkle, which a long time ago I looked at some of those games and he was like really good, but this team is just way too inconsistent. With that being said, they've had some good roster changes, and so for that reason, I'm going to be putting Ninjas in Pajamas through. I'm tempted, the only thing that I'm tempted to change would be to swap Ninjas in Pajamas for FlyQuest. But I gotta be honest, if you look at FlyQuest in the last few majors, multiple times, they've gone 2-0 and then lost 0-3. They have yet to win a best of 3. Like, what the heck, FlyQuest? Like, a lot of people have been saying, like, everyone's putting FlyQuest, it would be a fool not to put FlyQuest. I gotta be honest, ever since, I think they kind of peaked in early 2001, 2002, man. I don't think, in the last few years, I feel like FlyQuest has just been, sure, they might not have made majors back then, but at least back with those boys, they've at least been doing good enough against, like, the old M80, the old Bet Boom. They were doing pretty well. But nowadays, especially if they go up against like FaZe, Legacy, any of the teams I put kind of high up here, the only team I realistically can see them beating is Vision, and even then, I think that's a stretch. So, as much as I would want to put FlyQuest going through, especially since NIP's a complete wildcard for me, I gotta be honest, we've yet to see them go through a stage. Like, if FlyQuest can't go through a stage when they're going 2-0 every time, like, there's only so many best of 3s that you can lose, man. I mean, think about it. We've had so many people complain about the best of 1s in this group stage, and let me hear me out real quick. As much as I also hate the best of 1s, if you had to get, I'm more annoyed at the fact that they have best of 3s in the grand finals, okay? If you had to tell me that you can either have a best of 5 grand finals with best of 1 group stages, or vice versa, it would be all best of 3. I will any day take the best of 1s with a best of 5 grand final any day. So I'm not as mad about that compared to other people. But like my point still stands. FlyQuest, if all of these were best of 3s, we could be seeing FlyQuest go 0-3 each time. We have yet to see them win a best of 3. Like, yeah, they might be able to win, but they have to be able to break that curse, and we have yet to see them be able to break that curse, which is the same reason why a lot of people aren't putting FaZe going 3-0, because while on paper they should be the best team, or at least the second best team behind Legacy in the rankings, we've yet to see them be able to go 3-0 in a group stage. And for that reason, I just don't have enough faith in FlyQuest, because I think that they're grasping at straws. So I think there's a lot of teams that could go 0-3. I'm not that confident with this or this, but at least in terms of these 8 teams going through, I do feel pretty confident with this. The only teams I think could realistically go through are FlyQuest and maybe, just maybe, NRG, Flux, or Imperial. I don't really see Rare Atom going through, I don't see M80 going through, and I definitely don't see these two going through. I can see these guys picking up a game or two, but probably not through. And also, can I mention real quick that the Imperial Esports has a different logo in the simulator, and they also have a different logo here. Like, this was the symbol, like, so this symbol is like almost like a helmet, right? Here in the simulator, and I think on the official rankings, they have like almost like a rook design, like a castle design with like yeah, it's like almost like a rook or a tower design. That was here, I'm almost certain, like a couple of days ago, but they changed it. So I'm not sure if they're just swapping the logos around. I don't know what Imperial's doing, but it's confusing me. With all that being said, I'm going to save it here. I do not feel confident, but if we can get through 1 or 2 days, I think specifically the one thing that I'm really not confident with is going to be the 1-0 match. There's a lot of ways this could go. Like, that's all I can say. That is, especially since, like I said, FlyQuest always goes 2-0 and then loses 2-3. So if they beat Legacy, that can't even happen. So that's awfully annoying. So I think this could be all over the place, or I could be right on the money. We'll have to wait and see in the next week or so. So I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you guys on stage 2.